Okay, it is 3 o'clock on the dot. Hopefully, you all can see my screen. Let me make sure that you can hear me, that you can see me. Oh, I need to not, there we go, not have a echo there, but yay, welcome. I know it is just 3 and we're getting started, but what you all missed in the uh moments was I had a student come in who was in my regular class and she passed. Cam, you might have heard her talking on these things before, and she passed. And I'm just so proud of her. And we love her so much. And I cannot wait until each and every one of you all pops in and says, Candace, I passed. Candace, I passed. That is what I am looking for. So this Friday, today, we're going to keep it short. Why? Because we know tonight, today is the 12th of September, 2025. Tonight at 7 p.m., I am going to be doing a free math review class. It's at
Thank you so
7
much,
p.m.
Candice.
Eastern.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. So
Thank you a lot.
we're going
We
to
really
do about a
appreciate.
half an hour today. And then if anybody is watching this and wants to join in, send me an email. Again, today is September 12th, 2025. I'll be doing 7 p.m. the math class. So you are welcome to email me and say, oh, Caroline, you said who passed? It was my student Cam. Cam passed. She just jumped on beforehand, and I'm so proud of her. Yay. All right. So let's get to it again. Shortened session because I'm going to have to teach tonight. It'll probably take a couple of hours. So there we go. And let's continue on with these questions that I got from a student. They're good questions, so I like them. Starting with number 27. All of the following are examples of a general lien except. All of the following are examples of a general lien except. So that means three are general liens and one is not, which means it's probably going to be a specific lien. So a mortgage lien.
Oh, I think it's a mortgage
You
lien.
think?
Mortgage lien is like special. Like it's not general. It's specific.
Yeah,
Specific
it
lien.
is. It is
It's
a
because you want
specific
it for.
lien because we know it is specific to one property. So we know this is a specific lien, but we like to go through and double check. Our federal income tax liens, well, that is going to be against a person. You owe those federal taxes, so that's going to be a general lien. And the same with your state income taxes. That's a general lien because it's against you, the person. And then the same thing with the judgment lien. It's a general lien. I can spell general, sure, because it's against you. You owe money. So our income tax liens and our judgment liens are all against a person, but we know specific liens are against a specific piece of property, making our answer a mortgage lien. Right? So when we're taking the test, it may help you to do kind of, go through and what do you already know before you answer the question? We know that it was talking about a general lien. So we can say, oh, a general lien is against the person. And we know specific liens are against a specific property, thus helping us answer it. So does that make sense, Miss Caroline? I hope so. I know you chose a different answer. Hey, Trisha, hola, and you are correct. It is A. I love it.
Woohoo.
All right, number 28. Paul and John Mitchell. Oh, it's Paul Mitchell. I wonder if they do hair. Paul Mitchell and John Mitchell are brothers who own a chain of auto shops. Yeah, I don't think so. We're going to say hair shops because Paul Mitchell, which, I kind of like Paul Mitchell. Paul Mitchell is also a real estate broker, and he's been authorized to find a buyer for their business. Paul has, is it A, an ostensible agency, B, a designated agency, C, agency by ratification, or D, an agency coupled with an interest? Hmm. Anybody have a clue? Or is there one that you can eliminate?
I
Well,
think
I'll
that
go ahead
we
and
can eliminate D,
uh-huh.
an agency coupled with an interest. I don't think so.
Well, actually, that is the answer.
Yes, okay. Good.
That is
I
the
was
answer,
thinking a
but let's
lot. Yes.
explain
Thank you. Yes.
why. It's okay, Elena. It is okay. That's why we do this. I want you to get it wrong here so that you get it right sometime other. So ostensibly agency, it's like well basically it's like saying I'm basically your agent. You should not, as a real estate agent, ever be creating ostensible agency. This would be for all types of agents. If you're an attorney, if you have a power of attorney, things like that. Like ostensibly, it's a way to create agency, but we're not going to have it in real estate, really. You should know it exists, but we're not going there. Designated agency is a very specific type of real estate agency where you have a broker who says, hey, salesperson, you represent the seller, and hey, other salesperson, you represent the buyer, and I'll stay here and I'll be neutral. That would be designated agency, and that's not what this problem is talking about. Then you have agency by ratification, and this by ratification means I'm confirming that it's true. So it's kind of like, Elena, if I knew you were acting like my agent, and then later on, I come through and confirm it in writing. I'm ratifying that you are actually my agent, which is not what we're talking about here. We are, however, talking about agency coupled with an interest. Because remember, Paul owns the chain. He is a part owner. So he's representing the business, but he is an interested party in their business. Because remember, when we talk about somebody being an interested party, that means they have some type of relationship. When you have an interest to something, you have a relationship or connection. For example, we know that there's an estate, which means you can live there. And we know there are easements, which means you can use the land. Both are an interest in real property. Except one is an interest that allows you to live there, and one is an interest that just allows you to use it. An interest means you are some way related to it. In the easement, you're allowed to cross the property. In an estate, you're allowed to live there. So both of them, you have an interest or a relationship, a tie to the property. It's just estate and easement kind of narrow down exactly what we mean. Kind of like if I said, hey, Elena is my relative, you don't know if she's my sister or my cousin. Sister and cousin all say relative, but we don't know, well, how exactly is that relative? So, interest, that's what that means. It is an agency relationship because Paul is representing the business, but he's also part owner. So, there you go. Right? And I see you, Trisha. Yep, he has a personal interest. Love it. All right, number 29. Depreciation is. Depreciation is, now we've got this one, two, or three. And
I
because it doesn't say anything, we're looking for the ones that are true.
and I think the one was that are true. It's like a. It's I know the depreciation is like a loss of value due to any cause. This one is like
Yeah. So we know it's got to be at least one. We know that's a true statement. That is the definition of depreciation, a loss of value due to any cause. So our answer has to include number one. Doesn't even matter if we think two and three are right. If the answer doesn't include one, we're not going with it. So that means we can get rid of A and we can get rid of C. Just by knowing that number one is true, we can now eliminate. We can eliminate two of the answers, which means we got a 50-50 chance of guessing this right. So we've got the second one subtracted from the reproduction cost of the building. Well, that sounds true to me. When we do the cost approach, Remember, first we rebuild it and then we depreciate it. Then we depreciate it. So yeah, that's true. We subtract the amount of depreciation from the reproduction cost. That's a true statement. So we know our answer has to include two, which both of these do. So okay, well, okay, fine. So I guess it really comes down to what's going on with number three. Depreciation is not a deduction to land. Well, I know that's true for sure. I
Yes,
know we
because
never depreciate land. So
the
that
land.
is true, making our answer
D.
D. Good
D.
job, Trisha. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes? I hope so. I really, really hope so. That would be good. All right. Are we ready for our next one? A land contract or an installment contract. So we know these are synonyms. And you know I'm big on synonyms. So a land contract or an installment contract, I learned it as an installment land contract, but they can call it either one. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Okay. Anyway, sorry, ADHD moment. As you all know, I like to sing. We got the ADHD. So it is best described as a contract to mortgage land, B, when the deed to the property is passed and then the buyer makes regular installment payments, C, when the buyer makes regular installment payments while the seller retains title, or D, a type of contract to buy land only.
I think it's C.
So we got a C. All
Yeah.
right. Well, if it's C, then that means B, which basically is the opposite. In this one, C, it says the buyer makes payments and then the seller's going to retain the title, versus B says, okay, up front you get the deed and then the buyer makes regular installment payments. So, yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think the answer is B because I know in an installment land contract, it's like a rent to own, which means you make payments as the buyer. You make payments, you make payments, you make payments. You have equitable title, the right to claim title later, but you don't get legal title until you finish making your payments. So, yeah, it can't be B. In a contract to mortgage land, well, we know by definition, a mortgage is basically a collateral. You are using your real property as collateral, saying, hey, I'm going to pay you back. And if I don't, then you could sell my house, right? It's the security for the loan. And that's not what we're talking about here. It's not A, which leaves us with the possibility of D, a type of contract to buy land only. And hopefully you all got to this and you said only. Oh, you don't like that word only because that's not true. You can do an installment land contract even if there is an improvement like a house on the property. You can still use it. So that's not our answer either. Making our answer C, when the buyer makes regular installment payments. So if Candace, me, I own the property. You, the buyer, you send me different payments. These are all money payments. Send them all to me, right? And then when you've paid me in full, then I'll send title to you. So
Can
it's
this
a type
this
of seller financing. Go for it,
I'm
Elena.
sorry, yeah. So the installment contract doesn't have anything with the lender, right? With the bank, only with the seller, right?
Yeah, the seller is, excuse me, joking on nothing. The seller is financing.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, next one. And I'm just going to cough one more time. So I'm going to mute myself. Everybody hold, please. All right, sorry about that. Just choking on nothingness. I don't even know what's wrong with me. Let's try 31. Removal of encumbrances in order to provide free and clear title is the responsibility of removal of encumbrances in order to provide free and clear title is the responsibility of A, the title company, B, the broker, C, the seller, or D, the buyer. Ooh, I like this question.
And this the title company also is the title insurance or not?
Sometimes title companies can also offer title
Because I
insurance.
know the like a title insurance, it's like a clear the free and make like the title free and clear.
Well, title insurance is purchased by the buyer to
Buyer.
make the buyer say, basically, it's covering the buyer and
And I
saying, hey,
think the
buyer.
answer is D,
Okay.
because the buyer.
So you think it is D, the buyer. We got one person that says it's D, the buyer. Now, Trisha said it is the seller, right? Trisha said it's the seller. And I think Caroline in our chat said it is the seller.
I think it's seller. Sorry, I changed my mind. Seller, because seller like a must like a to like give a free and clear title in order like a
Yeah.
to
And
sell
Stacy
house.
said C too. And you know what, guys? That is the right answer. C. Why? Because basically the seller saying, hey, I'm going to give you free and clear title. So if it's not clear title, as the seller, I need to clear it before I give it to you. You want clear title, so it's my job to make sure it is cleared before I give it to you. It's my responsibility as the seller to make sure it's clear. But, however, I might have to hire an attorney or a title company to help me get it cleared. So, yes, our answer is C. Very good, everybody. I love it when you all get things right. We're not doing math. 32 looks like too much math. This is interesting. I've not really seen one like 33 before, but hey, this is what happens when I do things I've never seen with y'all before. A valid lease in writing and witnessed by two people is it A contract, B, an interest in real property, C, both A and B, or D, neither A nor B? It's a slight take on that one only, two only, neither one and two, both one and two. I mean, similar, but what are we thinking?
I,
Anybody have a thought?
I think it's C, both A and B. I know for sure it's like a contract, like because when the two people like it's together like in writing or witness,
Yeah, a
like it's gonna
contract
make
is, yeah,
contract.
an
Yeah.
agreement between two people. There had to be consideration, mutual agreement, all of those things. So yeah, we know it is definitely A. It has to be at least A. So we know it can't be D. Oops, there we go. Can't be D, and it can't be B because B doesn't include A, and we know A is right. So the next question is it just A or is it C, both A and B? So is it true that a lease is an interest in real property? And yeah, that is true. Why? Because that interest is a non freehold or a leasehold interest. It is an estate. When you sign a lease, you get the right to live there. You get the right to live there. So our answer is C. I see y'all there. I see y'all giving me
You
the
get
answers.
possession and interest, right?
So it is an interest, possession. The right to possess or live there is a level of interest. Yes, that's an estate. Whereas an easement is an interest, but you don't get to live there, you just get to cross it. All right, number 34. Soil that builds up gradually along a riverbank is called what? Soil that builds up gradually along a riverbank is called A, peat, B, avulsion, C, alluvion, or D, sod. Anybody got a clue? Trisha, Elena, Trisha said she's taking you to test today. Hey, I know, right? Elena's got this stuff. She does. Well, I know it's not avulsion because we know avulsion is the sudden
It's a
tearing away
violent
of
also.
land, like a earthquake or a flood or something.
Violent also, and I think it's
Mhm.
a sea alluvion.
You think it's sea alluvion? Well, I know it's not sod. I mean, sod is that stuff that we put down when you want to have, new grass. And then peat makes me always think of peat moss, right? Like I think of moss. I don't actually know what the real definition of peat is. But I know it's not soil that builds up. So I just happen to know also because I know my vocab words alluvion. And that is related to the word accretion. The action of it building is accretion, and the actual dirt itself is alluvion. Right? So there you go. It's a vocab word. It's close. And then somebody said something in the chat there. Let me roll. Boo, 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 boo. Is that the
Thing is,
accumulation of
we
sand and
know it's
soil? Yeah, it's the sand and
accretion.
soil itself, Trisha.
Yeah, but I don't know about this word alluvion. It's like the same like accretion because we know the accretion is the right
Opposite. So
opposite.
erosion is an action. It's the movement of where it's going away from that piece of land. And accretion is the movement of land being added. So erosion is an action, accretion is an action, but the dirt itself, the dirt that is being moved, that is called alluvion. So very similar. You saw that after the hurricanes in Puerto Rico? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right, number 35. The person who receives real property through a will is known as a what? The person who receives real property through a will is known as a. Now, before we even read the answers, we know we got the OR versus the EE rule.
And I
We know,
think it's A. It's
okay, you think it's
devices.
A. Okay, we got one person for devisee. So we know the OR is the giver. And we know the EE is the receiver. So receiving, if it ends in an OR, that's not the answer. Boom. And a real property through a will, I happen to know, is a device, which makes our answer a devisee. A vendee would be somebody like the opposite of a vendor, somebody selling, and this is the buyer. And legatee, is legatee a word? Legator, legatee. I don't actually know if that's a word, y'all. I I mean the person receiving a legal, I don't
Ask
know.
Uncle Ray. Ask Uncle Ray.
Let's ask Uncle Ray. Yeah, you know, right? Let's ask Uncle Ray. Let's see. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Gotta pull him up on the phone. Hey, Uncle Ray, is legatee a word? Legatee. Or did they just make it up to confuse me?
No, they didn't make it up to confuse you. It's actually a real word. A legatee is just a fancy legal term for someone who receives a legacy or a gift under a will. So if you're dealing with any kind of estate or will related document, that's just a term for the person who's going to inherit something.
So, okay. So legacy. So this had to do with the word legacy. So if you get something from a will, so I know personal property can be a device, and then what's the other? Okay, well, anyway, now we know it's a real word, and it's not what we're looking for. It is something you're getting through a will, but we're looking specifically at bequest. That's what it is. If it's personal property, it's a bequest. So now I have one more question for Uncle Ray. Hey, Uncle Ray. So, what is the difference between a legacy and having that legatee? Is that how you say it? And a devisee for a device and a bequest? Those all seem like they have to do with wills. How are they different?
Hey, Candace. Sure thing. Let's break it down in a friendly way. So, you're definitely on the right track that all these terms pop up in the world of wills and inheritance. They just refer to different kinds of gifts and the people who receive them. A legacy is basically another word for a gift of personal property in a will. And the person who receives that legacy is called a legatee. So, think of a legatee as someone who's getting, say, grandma's jewelry box or a sum of money. Now, a devisee is the person who receives real property, like a house or a piece of land under a will. The gift itself is called a devise. So if someone inherits a piece of real estate, they're the devisee. And then there's bequest, which is kind of a catch-all term that just means any gift made through a will, whether it's money, personal property, or real estate. So all of these terms are just different flavors of who's getting what from a will. In short, legatee is about personal property, devisee is about real estate, and bequest is the general term for any type of gift in a will. Hope that helps.
Why is Uncle Ray the best? Why
Very good
is
explanation, yeah.
Uncle Ray the best? So let's write that out because I need to put that in my notes because I was told a bequest was personal property. So I'm learning something too. So where are my notes? I can put it in here. Law questions. Okay. So we're gonna make a big old fat boop. So a bequest is a gift via will for both real and personal property. And a legacy, and we saw that from legatee. Does that mean it's a legator? I don't know. That is going to be just personal property. And we know that, what's the word I'm missing? Device. And there was the devisor, and the devisee is the gift of real property. Oh, boop. Via will. And I know just because we confuse it, the demise is the lease. Wow, we learn something every time. Mhm. Oh, and you wrote that down. Okay, we got you. We got you. We learned so much, guys. You know what? We just do. And with that, it is 3:30. You know, usually I go an hour, but today I will not because I will see some of you all tonight. Make this bigger here. I will see some of you tonight. It's 9/12/25 at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 4 p.m. Pacific, for a free math review. I'm reviewing a new set of math problems. I need some help, so it's a free math review. And just email me if you don't have the link to get in. It's going to be a Zoom class, so there you go. And it's Candace. Yes.
The same link from the
Nope,
Zoom?
it's not this link. It's a different link, not this one that you're in now. It's a different one. So email me for the link. It is a different link. So, yay. And yes, Elena, definitely. And Trisha, I saw you asked the same link. No, it is a different link. So use a new link. You got to make sure you email me for a new link, y'all, because otherwise you'll be like, Candace, where are you? And I'll be like, no, I'm in here. So it's get a new link. Anybody is welcome to come. So guys, I gotta go rest my voice a little bit before we do math tonight. I hope to see a lot of you all there. Hey, I learned something today. I'm so excited about this. I gotta make a slide about all of this now. We got bequest, we got legacy, we got devise, we got demise. So Uncle Ray to the save the day. So guys, if I don't see you tonight, Friday night, then I'll see you next Wednesday for another office hours, and I'll see you next time. Bye everybody.
Thank you, Candice, for a very good explanation. Thank you a lot. We
You are
really appreciate
very
it. Thank you.
welcome.